Here's some common side hustle examples. Teaching is a really popular one right now. It's just taking your existing skills and selling that experience to someone else. So maybe you're really into kayaking, and so you offer, kayaking lessons, or you take people on kayaking trips, or maybe you're really into hunting, and so you take hunting trips, or maybe you're really, into an instrument, so you teach that instrument. But teaching is a great way simply because you're able to sell your skills to someone else. The challenge is teaching is a little bit hard to scale. You can scale it online, obviously much easier than you can offline. You can only teach so many people how to play the guitar, or train so many kids in soccer, for example. But teaching is a great way. As long as you know something more than someone else, you can work to get them to pay you to teach them. And that's the cool thing about today's economy. Just information is so much easier to and so accessible and so much easier to learn, that you can go out and then sell that to someone else. Number two, as we talked about, creating a physical product. You can make soap, you can make wooden signs, you can build furniture, you can sell some type of art, you can sell some type of jewelry. There's a lot of really profitable jewelry side hustles online, just because there's so many online marketplaces. So if you do something that's really, really cool, that you can sell, that you enjoy making, creating a physical good, can be the way to go. A digital product, we talked about this, doing graphic design. I have some friends that make beat packs and sell beat packs for producers, and they're pretty successful doing it. You can sell your photos. You can be a wedding photographer. This is a wedding photographer is kind of on the line of in between digital goods and a service. Wedding photography is exploding right now, and it's just, if you like photography, you can make a couple $1,000s in a weekend, doing weddings, even wedding planning, if you're really organized and you enjoy that. But you can create a digital good, also an online course. Obviously, those are popular. You're participating in one right now. And there's just a bunch of different types of digital products that you can create. The tough thing with digital products is it's becoming a competitive marketplace. And so we'll talk about that in week 2. How can you actually compete? How can you analyze market demand? How can you figure out if you yourself have the ability to sell a digital product? And what does that look like? What are the pros and cons? What are the trade-offs when launching any type of digital good? The fourth, and one of my favorites, is just services in general. We talked a little bit about this: dog walking, lawn care, pet sitting, cooking, driving, coding. People are always going to need their dogs walked. They're always going to need their lawns mowed. They're always going to need babysitters and pet sitters, and meals, prepared meals. They're going to need people to drive them around. Coding is, I just published a blog post on the 6 most desirable coding languages. I see a lot of people, and I recommend it. If you have any interest in coding, you can learn a lot of coding languages in 2 to 3 months, and then, make, an additional $2,000-$3,000 just doing projects on the side, freelance. Or you can change your entire career and make 6 figures pretty easily with a lot of coding languages. But services, it's selling something to someone else. The most profitable ones I know are the services where you launch it and then you're the person who connects supply and demand. And so my buddy Matt, he launched a dog walking company in Chicago, and he started, walking dogs himself, just a few dogs here and there, but he was able to actually grow it because there was so much demand. And now he hires his friends to walk the dogs, and he makes the money, but he doesn't actually have to walk dogs at all. All he does is, he deals with some customer service issues, and manages the business. He doesn't actually have to trade much of his time. And so a service, if you're into it, I don't recommend, for example, getting into a dog walking business if you don't like dogs, obviously. Same thing with lawn care, but look around your neighborhood where you live. What's something that you would enjoy doing that you could sell? Another thing, there is obviously a big difference between physical services. So being out and having, you can't walk someone's dog online, for example. It's one of the nice things about coding, the nice things about graphic design. You can do those from anywhere, and they can give you a lot of flexibility. And one of the things is a lot of the jobs that are going to be needed in the next 10 years or so, they haven't even been created yet. And, we're moving into this, or we've moved into this really hugely digital economy where support services for people in the digital economy are growing like crazy. So virtual assistants, for example, it's pretty easy to be a virtual assistant. There's networks of virtual assistants. You can partner up with someone else who has a business and start learning that way. You can be a virtual assistant. Some of the people I know who have law degrees even are leaving their law firms and being virtual assistants because they can work with a couple clients and make $2 to $3 grand per client, make 15,000 plus a month, being a virtual assistant for a number of people. And, even accountants that specialize in online businesses and salespeople that specialize in online business and graphic designers, all those are growing in demand. And the nice thing about a lot of those skills, you can learn them relatively quickly and you can learn them online. I'm not saying you shouldn't have an offline service, but just think about, do you want to be able to do this service from anywhere, and what are the trade-offs between the two? Number 5, arbitrage. This is, you can go and find, something that's undervalued and then sell it. A good example is people who flip furniture online or buy products from like OfferUp or LetGo or Facebook Marketplace, and then they go sell them for much higher dollars on eBay. I'm into domain name buying and selling. I spend time in domain auctions buying undervalued domains and then holding them for a while and flipping them profit. That I've done for a long time, and I really enjoy it. I actually have over 800 domains that I've been collecting and that I buy and that I sell. Number 6, real estate and house hacking. Real estate just can be an incredible side hustle. You do need more money up front to start it, but if you can, buy a property and rent it out, we can talk a little bit more about that throughout the weeks. And if you have any questions about real estate, definitely, hit me up in the forum. But real estate, is a great way to build passive income streams. It's never been easier to buy a property with a friend or to go in and buy, house hacking, the simple idea, buy a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment or home and then rent out the other rooms to offset or completely cover the cost of the mortgage, to make it cheaper and in some cases free for you to live, but you're able to start building that rental income. And so just having one property or a couple extra bedrooms that you're renting, or even, sleeping on the couch occasionally and renting out your room on Airbnb can be, a great little side hustle and way to save some money. And then finally, last but not least, blogging. I'm a huge fan of blogging. I still think we're in really kind of the second inning of the blogging game. And, it does take time. This is one of the things about a blogging side hustle. It does take, about 6 months or so to start making money. And so there is a lot of investment and time up front, but it can be an incredible passive income stream. And we'll talk about that throughout the course, and how you can set up a blog and use a blog to make money. And what are the trade-offs? The blogging, a lot of people, they spend the time to create it, but then they write for a month or two and they get tired of it or they get busy. Blogging is definitely a grind, and it can be tough, but you can make money online doing it. You can actually make a lot of money online doing it. And like I said, I think there's a lot of upside potential with blogging specifically. The nice thing too about blogging is if you do it and you're passionate about it, you're going to learn a lot of other skills that you can then repackage and sell. So when I originally started blogging, I knew a lot about SEO, but you can learn about SEO, you can learn about web design, you can learn about branding, you can learn about all those elements, and you can actually then package and sell those to other people. Whether it's just graphic design services or SEO services or, Facebook ad services, you can learn all of that by creating a blog that's your own, but the blog itself becomes a learning mechanism and a catalyst for learning that you can then package and sell to other people. So here are 7 different common side hustle ideas, and we'll talk about, how to pick the perfect one, throughout the 5 weeks. But I wanted to get you to start thinking about what side hustle you might be interested in based on these categories.